found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio Show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340. WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
TB welcoming you in. Prayers up from a man, George Plaster, who's was texting with him last night. He's lost his voice. And about 20 or so years ago, he went through a deal where he had polyps or something on his vocal cords. And it ended up being a deal where he... It's wild, where he lost his ability to speak. And apparently, allegedly, I don't know, that's happened again to him. But here we are. We got the dogs tonight. Brian's fired up, focused, and prepared. Brian's got his game face on. He and I were talking before the show today. Brian, you're game facing, aren't you, today on this one? Game facing, Brian?
What you mean? I'm excited about tonight's game. Is that what you're talking about?
Game facing, yeah. You're game facing, man. You got your game face on.
Yeah, I want to see this team have some carryover from one good game to the next, though.
Yep.
Before I really start to sort of get sucked back in, and I'm sort of just going to remain kind of humble and try not to get as emotionally stirred up because they could easily lose tonight. Not saying they will, but I don't want to get let down again after what happened against Kentucky. I don't like those kind of emotional highs and lows. I just want to try to keep it in the middle for right now. It's healthier.
They opened as a dog to the dogs, so, anything can happen. Obviously, when you open as a dog, anything can happen. All right, Sean Sinclair, let's get to the brass tacks here. Okay. Cinco, you're sitting here watching as an observer. What piques your interest? And by the way, Watson Brown joins next hour. We're going to hang out and talk here this hour. Wednesday with Watson. It's a movement sweeping the nation. John Adams will be here tomorrow. I'm going to tell you, you got a couple things up for grabs here. Miami's made a mockery, Cinco, while we're taptoeing the line, Rocky Burnett. Miami is making a mockery, Cinco, of the portal, of the rules, of the whole thing. We're over here taptoeing the line, Rocky Burnett, and Miami's making a mockery of it. So Miami and Duke yesterday, or Duke and Miami, I should say, because Duke sued the kid, and they were gonna hold the kid there, but they decided not to go to court and hold the kid there. Cinco, what does this say to anybody out there that allegedly signed a deal? What do you think the ramifications of this thing are? If anything, how does it grab you?
No, I see both sides. I can understand signing a contract, you put your word on it, et cetera, et cetera. But there's still negotiations, so obviously your value is more. If let's say Ole Miss was giving him $600,000, which is that's a great deal of money, and Ole Miss says, "Hey, Clemson, excuse me, $600,000." Ole Miss says, "We'll give you $2 million for 2 years, $2 million each year for 2 years." That's a no-brainer. I mean, you go. With the way the NCAA has failed to monitor and failed to control their own product. Is it unbecoming? It absolutely is. Is there an honor among thieves? Apparently not anymore. But at the end of the day, for a one-day embarrassment for Pete Golden, he's going to get his linebacker, and Miami's going to get his quarterback, and no one's going to remember the difference. I would suggest you see more and more of this. I don't believe that we are lily white. I have no proof of that, but I believe we, like every other school, plays in the gray. You can call it going through an outside party, or someone talking to a parent of a coach, or whatever. I think everybody's doing it, but it is a little unseemly. But I don't have a problem really with a kid, going to the highest bidder. I do have a big problem hearing something like Carson Beck saying, "I haven't been in a classroom in 2 years."
Yeah.
I mean, that's I got a huge problem with that. And it's not Carson Beck. You can tell me all the technology all you want, and this it's beyond absurd that we're talking about. We think your name, image, and likeness rate is this. When you cannot go buy any. I guess you could custom make jerseys for all these players. I don't see all these players on any kind of ad campaigns. So it's just a mess created by the NCAA themselves.
We got that.
So it's ugly. It's ugly, but it is what it is.
You got the Vols 1.5-point underdog tonight with Georgia, if you want to talk about that, what you think is going to happen. We've got the second thing is the Darian Mensah kid is now on his way to Miami because Miami flexed on college football yesterday. They flexed on Duke. They flexed on everybody involved. Duke and Mensah have reached a settlement, which allows him now. And then he committed to Miami a few hours later yesterday, which was the worst-kept secret in the world. I know there was some hope from our standpoint a few weeks back when we saw Mensah's name and heard about him going into the portal that maybe, Tennessee would. No, Tennessee had their eyes on quarterback 112 out of the portal. And I just, for the life of me, don't understand it. Speaking of quarterbacks, can we just say this right now? So Rivals out of nowhere, they just downgrade Faison Brandon from a 4-star to a 5-star player, and Tristan Keys as well, or from a 5-star to a 4-star. from a 5-star to a 4-star? An injustice done to Faison Brandon, who came on late in the season after being injured, led his team to a state championship, looked great doing it. But he goes from number 10 to number 40. He goes from a 5-star to a 4-star. It's kind of like, in a way, it sort of mirrors what Tennessee did, and going from quarterback number 2 on the board to quarterback number 112. Maybe Shannon Terry and the folks just said, Tennessee's used to that. So, and like NECA Dave said, number 112's got a nice beat and you can dance to it. So, what could Faison Brandon have possibly have done to fall in the rankings like that? These rankings are so comical. And on 3, I thought it was no 3 yesterday. I read it, and then I thought, it's got to be a joke. They got to be joking. Because the kid's like enrolled at UT, sitting over there yesterday minding his own business. And he was a 5-star quarterback. He was a, highly rated member of this class, and now he's a 4-star player. And this is an injustice. And where's the Hubber? And where's Austin Price? Where are these guys in the middle of this? This is an injustice. This is an outrage. I mean, what do you do to fall in the rankings after you've won a state championship and look great doing it? Did he have like a fashion faux pas? Brian, have you ever committed a fashion faux pas?
Every day. All the time.
I am a fashion faux pas. Did he show up at some kind of, quarterback symposium in the wrong kind of car? Was he driving around a beat-up car or something like that? Is his girlfriend kind of homely? I don't know. I mean, did he piss off somebody at the home office? Sankey, explain to me how a guy can go from a 5-star player all this time to winning a state championship, and now he's a 4-star player. And does that bother you, Sean?
Oh, it used to bother me, but again, it's very much like when Manning lost the Heisman. These things are made to get clicks and get people watching and talking and complaining.
Yep.
Et cetera, just drive people to watch this. I really believe, and over the years, I mean, I called for youth. They used to have a 1-900 services.
Yep, 1-900 numbers.
And I used to help out a guy. Yeah, I used to help out a guy that did that. Through the years, I had people when I was a board member of the Memphis Touchdown Club. We'd have people associated with those things come in, and I've talked to the people in that capacity. And so I truly believe these folks that go into it with honorable intentions. However, they're humans. Tom Lemming always has had and will have a Notre Dame bias. Always.
The mailman, as we call him.
You're going to have,
Karl Malone and Tom Lemming.
Forrest Davis will always have an Alabama bias. Et cetera, et cetera. A lot of times, I was told that they will rate a kid higher to sites or to teams that have like VolQuest or something higher subscription rates.
But they didn't do it here.
Because
I know that
Shannon.
Shannon Terry, one of their top sites is VolQuest. I think it's second or third in their deal. And he could have easily capitulated here. But here's what Shannon Terry said today, because people are upset. And I kind of like this stuff because it's fun. And if you think I'm really upset about a star ranking on a kid, you got another thing coming. But it's something to lampoon and have fun with. And I'm going to lampoon it, and we're going to have fun with it. So Shannon Terry says the following. There are roughly 275,000 high school senior football players in the U.S. every year. Wow, that's a high number. There are only, all capital letters, 32 5 stars in each class. That's it, 32. So the odds of becoming a 5-star player are 1 in 8,600 per class. And historically, 5 stars have a 65% NFL draft rate. So I think he's trying to say, it's not all that in a bag of chips to be a 5-star player. So, Sean, the easy thing for them to do,
as you know, and we've said through the years, confirmed by Will Overstreet, the first day in pads when you're on the football field,
yes,
the first practice, nobody gives a rip about your star rating. And if you can't back that star rating up, you're going to hear about it.
Yup. Now, what's incredible, and this is just when you start looking at this thing, because now Tennessee signees, Faison Brandon and Keys are not 5-star players on the final 2026 Rivals 300 ranking. A shocking development, really. Sean, that could be almost good news if you stop and think about it. If you think about all the busts that have come out of the 5-star quarterback ranks, it's almost a relief that this guy loses his star rating. That's one way of looking at it. And I go back, and we'll unpack that later on, but I go back to this. The fact of our matter is that here's who our competition ended up with at quarterback. By the way, Miami ends up with Mensa. That Miami totally flexed on Duke. They went in on basically the last day of the portal. And everybody was like, what's Miami going to do? Remember, Brian, we were here a week and a half or so. What's Miami? Miami and Tennessee are still, without a... And we go and add some absolute bag of balls guy. No offense to him. We had a guy on from Colorado, and I'm interviewing, and I'm trying to pump the guy up, And the guy from Colorado goes, man, I don't get that. And then I found out they paid him nothing to come here, which added up. As in NIL money. He's getting a scholarship. That's his NIL money. So I think this thing...
Which is the modern day walk-on.
A modern day walk, yeah. That's right. So while we did that, here's what other schools around us did. And several of these players we're going to see this year. And who am I? Danny White's charging full price for this. Full price at the Everything School for this. I just can't. When you put it on paper and you think about Miami doing what they did, because Danny's literally telling people behind the scenes, hey, the NCAA is going to clap at these people. Are they? Are they? I hope for his sake they do. Because if we walk out there in 2026 with a middling football team, because we sat there and twiddled our thumbs, while the likes at Miami and LSU and Indiana and Auburn and Kentucky and Missouri and Florida went and got like real bona fide legitimate options out of the portal, and we went and got a guy from Colorado that you've never heard of. You've never heard of him. These guys that bet on 5 football games a night in the middle of the week that watch MAC ball have never heard of that guy. And I'm not knocking what we did. I'm not trying to, and I'm not knocking him. It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. Check this out. So LSU, they got Levitt from Arizona State, who we were involved with. And then they backed that up with the Longstreet kid from USC. And then they backed it up with a kid from Elon that Tennessee was kind of intrigued with. And the kid from Elon obviously would be a better option than the kid from Colorado. No offense. No offense. No offense. And then you have Texas Tech. They get Sorsby from Cincinnati. Indiana gets Hoover from TCU. Miami does a total flex job on the world and adds Mensa from Duke. Duke said you can't do that. Well, okay, here's the deal. Jim Phillips is the commissioner. He used to be on UT's campus of the ACC. And he just sat there and just watched it happen. You know why? Because there's nothing anybody can do about it. You know what's going to happen to Memphis for buying that linebacker right out from under Dabo Swinney, who all those years was the modern-day Bobby Bowden? Cheating like crazy. Cheating like hell. Byron Brown goes from South Florida, follows his coach to Auburn. Oklahoma State got lucky and got the Messermaker kid from North Texas State. How about Oregon? How about the year Oregon had with their quarterbacks? They get this Raiola guy who I'm not a fan of. Cinco knows more about him than I do. Cinco loves that program. He follows them. But I'm not a big fan. But you know, they also retained the Moore kid. I guess they had a pretty they don't even need the Raiola guy. They retained the Moore guy. I mean, we could have added the Raiola guy. We needed somebody that could play and help us. Now we're going to count on two kids against a tough schedule. Just in the SEC alone, Byron Brown, Auburn from South Florida. Kenny Minchie, by way of Nashville. He's been a pretty nice player when he's played. Kentucky got a viable, veteranish quarterback in Kenny Minchie from Notre Dame. Deuce Knight goes from Auburn to Ole Miss. Austin Simmons goes from Ole Miss to Missouri. That's the kid that started at Ole Miss last year. Again, I don't know what he is, but he has starting experience in the league. I mean, it's more than we can say. Florida added a promising kid, Aaron Philo from Georgia Tech, to start what they're doing after they let their quarterback go. So they're kind of in the spot we're in. They're in Inexperiencedville at Florida, but they're not on our schedule this year. And LSU, who is, added two quarterbacks in the top 10. I'm trying to, when you put it on paper, and you think about what Miami did yesterday, and you think about Danny White's comments to Adam Sparks, the Knoxville News Sentinel, something here doesn't jibe. Now, I know some of you are going to say, well, Tony, you're belaboring the fact, and GMAC, and that's not the point. The point is, you're being charged a ton of money, and we're being sold that we're competing for national championships, and you have two young quarterbacks that haven't played. And that just doesn't compute. That just doesn't compute. I mean, it just doesn't compute. And I can't figure out for the life of me why Tennessee could go from quarterback number 2, bringing him in, having a public food fight with LSU over the guy, and then going all the way to 112. When the rest of these schools, you know, the Ole Misses of the world, the Missouris of the world, the Kentuckys of the world, add a credible quarterback rather than a wing and a prayer. And GMAC might gain 20 pounds. I don't know. I wouldn't bet on that, but I don't know. The narrative that this was their plan all along is not true. These guys got caught with their pants down. And I can't figure it out. It just doesn't compete. Even Georgia Tech. They're in the same spot we're in, right? And they don't have any money. They're not like us. They don't. Here's the deal. Georgia Tech got an AD from Tennessee, one of Danny's lieutenants, who's now, Brian, when you graduate from lieutenant, what do you become? Or Cinco? You have military family. What is he now? What would Danny White be in the flow chart?
Colonel?
Is that right, Cinco?
The next thing would be captain.
Captain
in the Air Force.
So they have a captain. So Danny White's lieutenant's now the captain down, and Danny's the captain of his ship at UT. But this guy has to go to they've got such little money that in order to keep the Tennessee game on their campus, he had to make a deal with their fan base and say, hey, if you're willing to pay more, I'll let you pay more. But in order to pay more, you're going to have to pay like double for your seats to this thing, and we'll keep it here. I mean, they're a small budget compared to us. And they went and got Alberto VO5 Mendoza. They went and got Alberto VO5 Mendoza's brother. Or Fernando Mendoza, Alberto VO5 Mendoza. To go with a redshirt freshman they really like a lot. This thing is wild, man.
Can I jump in?
Hit it.
You know, to me, I mean, these are all big, but you mentioned it earlier in the week in one of your blogs, but I do not understand how I wake up on Wednesday morning and Mike Sankey still has a job. He has been a complete embarrassment.
Mike Sankey. Yep.
These the way he could not control the lane. People say you can't control Lane Kiffin. The heck you can't. You're the commissioner. You bet your bippy you can control Lane Kiffin. Absolutely, you can control him. The way that all went down with the coaches back and forth, the way he totally got punked by the Big Ten, convincing us to go to 9 conference games, but remain in a 12, at least for now, a 12-team playoff, which makes it even harder for our teams. That's a disgrace.
Yes, I agree.
The longest time we've been here, you know, the SEC, it just means more. It just means more. And we've kind of ridden that for a long time. Now we're 3 years out without a championship. And without question, the heavy hitters are in the Big Ten. I think everybody would convince that. The old guard is slipping in the SEC. Texas may be rising up, but Alabama and Georgia still excellent, still better than us in a lot of ways. But they're sliding. Some other teams are going, but I do not understand how Greg Sankey has no.
Mike Sankey.
He's full of false bravado in front of the camera.
He really is. Yes.
And he's adding nothing all along. His cohort at the Big Ten is just toying with him publicly.
Smoked him. Mike Sankey, listen, here's the bottom line with him. And he's all hat and no cattle. I mean, how else can you come up with anything else? And you're right, Sean. All this stuff's going on. These guys have no answers for it. Darian Mensah yesterday just said, okay, I might be at Duke. They might have a bunch of Mensa members here. They might have a 2-year contract with me, but that's a marketing agreement because Sankey's one of the leading guys in this. They will not collective bargain like Danny White says. And so I'm just going to make a mockery of it. And when you put it on paper and you go, okay, so Tennessee sat there and played the game and played nice with everybody. And when you play the game and play nice, you end up at 112, which is what Danny White told Adam Sparks at the end of their kind of tepid portal haul. They did well on defense, but compared to what it should have been, could have been, pretty tepid. Pretty tepid. Pretty tepid. And so from that perspective, you know, you kind of look at it and you go, all right, let's all just kind of relax here. And there are no rules. So what are we relaxing for? In this thing, you're either pedal to the metal or you're not. And Miami appeared in the national championship game. We all laughed last year. We laughed when they paid Carson Beck $4 million. They were right. I was wrong. We giggled when they took our safety last year off our team, and we said, what in the world? This guy from MTSU, he can't play. He can play. And they just basically punked us at the end of the spring. They treated us like a feeder program. I mean, let's get real here. And they, in their own league, told Duke, yeah, you have a 2-year deal with him. It's a marketing agreement. And you know why Duke didn't challenge it in court? Because it's not a contract, it's a marketing agreement. And so Miami's going to pay Duke some money. They're going to treat them like a feeder program. They're going to add this player. This thing is crazy. This thing is nuts. I agree with Colombo. Eventually, Lane Kiffin and that governor are going to end up in jail doing something down there in Louisiana. They're going to break more laws than laws that don't even exist yet. And in the meantime, Faison Brandon gets downgraded from a 5-star to a 4-star for going to class yesterday, for showing up on time for his meetings, for being a really good teammate so far, for having a great attitude. And I want answers. And Cinco's not outraged about it. Nobody's outraged about it. I want answers. He lost his star, man. It's like when Shawn Michaels back in the day lost his smile in the mid-'90s. Brian, what did you do that night you turned in Monday Night Raw like 30 years ago and Shawn Michaels lost his smile? Do you remember that?
I'm not sure I was even born 30 years ago, Tony.
And then explain something to me. Bama fans and Clemson fans, what happened to y'all? You used to have like great coaches and great tradition and great culture and great this and great that. And now this new era comes along and you guys are pretty good. And y'all are whining and bitching and moaning. But under the old way, y'all had every advantage. Dabo Swinney has been absolutely cheating from day one since he got there. They were illegally buying players. And then he has a press conference where, hey, it's great that he's showing receipts, Sean. Right? The press conference was great, right, Cinco?
It was. I mean, I know I appreciated what he did because it just established the absurdity to the public.
Yes.
Of how ridiculous it is. I don't feel sorry for him.
No, he lost his smile.
He could have raised his offer, and
yep.
I guess if they would have matched it, the kid would have stayed there.
Yep.
But basically, he got him to sign a contract when obviously his market value was significantly more.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of like a team rushing up to the line to get a playoff before the review can look at the play.
So
these aren't contracts. They're just agreements.
That's all they are.
They're broken all the time.
It's silly. And for us to pretend otherwise, until these guys collective bargain, this is a very simple something to share with your family and friends. This is total anarchy. Danny White wants to pretend like it's not because he's an institutional guy. It's complete and total anarchy. And let me tell you, if they don't at least announce that, hey, Texas Tech, you're under investigation. Miami, you're under investigation. Danny's going to look silly because we're going to sit here and sit still for a year and let these other teams blow by us because why? Because we're sitting here playing by the rules? Playing by what rules? This is not my words. These are his words. And when I said he was telling big boosters, us, many of you called me a liar, but when he said it out loud. So what we have today is we got Faison Brandon losing his star, and I've lost my smile. We've got Tristan Keys losing his star, and I've lost my smile. And I want answers. We've got the Vols tonight with Georgia, where they're a 1.5-point underdog for the second time in a row. They go off. They were a dog Saturday, right, Brian, with Alabama. Is that correct? Then
about 4 or 5 points.
Yeah. Then you've got Mensa yesterday out of the blue. They were supposed to meet in court. And Duke said, no, we're not doing that. Duke's smart. They're smart people. Hey, how can I stop this guy from playing somewhere else when all I have is a marketing agreement for him? These are not pay-for-play contracts. And until we call them pay-for-play contracts, they are what they are. We got Deion Sanders out here promising to, if Deion Sanders' docking scale is what Colorado published, Boo Carter will be in arrears to that program by late May. Have you seen that, Cinco? Deion Sanders is, because we can go through that later on. But this is a remarkable turn of events in major college sports here. A remarkable, seeing Miami, to Sean's point, these commissioners have zero power. Dabo Swinney says, well, my GM got on the phone and was exchanging texts with the conference commissioner. Hey, Sean, what good's that going to do? What's the conference commissioner going to do about this, Sean? Help Dabo Swinney out. The SEC commissioner, that is. A.K.A. Mike Sankey. Let me help you out. Mike Sankey isn't going to do anything about it. But we got to pick on my guy, because I got to feel good about something. It might be a blessing in disguise, Brian, when you look at all these five-star busts at quarterback. But I noticed where Vanderbilt has the highest rated quarterback on that top 300 list. Vanderbilt's got the number 2 player in the entire class, in fact, in this Curtis kid, who they say is a total freak. And shout out to Vandy, who last night, Brian Hartman, what would you call what they did to Kentucky in their building last night? What do you refer to that as, Bri?
Illegal.
Yeah, it ought to be illegal. Make it a crime. It ought to be illegal. Because you got nothing to be guilty of. They destroyed them. It was like 16 points 5 minutes in. And there was no letting up. There was no 2-foul substitution to save Kentucky the other night.
But between football and basketball, Kentucky's lost at Vanderbilt by 60 points combined.
Sam Needham, Boo Carter's going to play both ways and be a stud. Mark it down. Hey, Sam, if they put up with all his hijinks and shenanigans, he will. If they put up with all his nonsense, he will. If Deion sticks to that thing, Boo Carter will owe them $150,000 by the time football season starts next year.
When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gufon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gufon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gufon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gufon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gufon.com. That's Gufon.com, or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gufon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Cold weather is here. Is your heating system ready and running efficiently? Don't wait to find out. A simple tune-up now can help prevent costly breakdowns when you need your heat the most. Right now, Pipe Wrench is offering a $79 heating system tune-up to keep your home warm, safe, and worry-free all winter long. Our certified technicians inspect, clean, and fine-tune every part of your heating system for maximum efficiency and comfort, helping you avoid surprise breakdowns and high energy bills. And with Pipe Wrench Home Service's same-day service guarantee, you won't be left out in the cold waiting for help. Your comfort isn't just our job, it's our promise. Schedule your $79 heating system tune-up today at PipeWrench.com before winter decides to test your heater. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. For standard systems only, visit PipeWrench.com for details.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com. Living Vol fan, when it's time to get ready for 2026 and what's ahead, there's only one place. It's Alumni Hall, the best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands, Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. And check this out. All the basketball stuff that the Tennessee basketball fan could ever need. Some great Tennessee baseball stuff as well. Any season, any reason. Alumni Hall, 3 locations in Knoxville. Also Murfreesboro, Bristol, and now open, of course, in Johnson City. And anytime online, alumnihall.com. Say it loud, say it proud. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Firing this thing up, preparing this thing, getting ready to roll with you. Cinco, are you fired up right now? Are you pumped?
Yeah.
All right. You wanted to add something, and then we'll go to the phones. We have a lot of cornucopia of topics here, including this mystifying approach by the Vols. What Miami did yesterday, which basically tell college football, we don't care. We don't care. We don't care. There are no rules. You wanted to share something, Sean, hit it. Yep.
Yeah. So it's just kind of interesting to me is On3 has a number of different platforms, I guess, under their umbrella. And just one of them, I was looking up and there's a different one for Rivals and On3. But anyway, the one I picked up interested me. The top 10 teams that they ranked just came out today for football transfers, or LSU number 1. That's not surprising. They're throwing a whole lot of money at the program, trying to get back to relevancy. Indiana number 2, coming off a national championship. Texas Tech number 3. We get that. That's money. Nonetheless, a playoff team. 4, Miami, who played for the national championship playoff team. Texas didn't make the playoffs, as we know, but a money team. Texas A&M 6. I believe they were a playoff team, were they not?
Absolutely.
First round knocked out.
That's correct.
And 7, Ole Miss, which is obviously a playoff team. That's followed by Penn State. You get that. Iowa State just moved east. Oklahoma State, I guess they're trying to get back. And Virginia Tech, obviously, they're trying to throw some money to help out to get James Franklin in there. But then when you contrast that, with the same company's high school rankings, you have USC number 1, Notre Dame number 2, Oregon number 3, Georgia number 4, Bama 5, 6, Ohio State. The first crossover comes at Texas A&M number 7. Texas A&M had the number 6 ranked class in transfers and number 7 high school. Tennessee comes in at number 8. We were in one of these. We were outside the top 20. Again, I'm meshing services, so don't hold me to that. I couldn't find the other one with Tennessee. All I saw was the top 10. Miami number 9 in high school, number 4 in transfer. Texas 10 in high school, 5 in transfer. LSU 11 in high school and 1 in transfer. So, and scientifically, I'm going to call the transfer rankings the teams that are going out, because everybody's spending money.
Yep.
It looks like the transfer teams are spending money on kids that are going to play and impact the score immediately. And the other side are going to be teams that are going to spend probably the same amount of money on kids that most likely are not going to have an impact on the game. And so you wonder if Indiana, Miami, Texas Tech's an outlier. And I think LSU is this year right now. But I wonder if those guys just have it figured out. Because I think a lot of the teams that were leading in high school are just renting players that aren't going to contribute to their program. And as we've seen, the attrition rate in these classes is astronomical.
To the phone.
So what are you really paying for?
I think it's really interesting. I think it's interesting there's very little crossover on those lists. I think it's interesting. Like yesterday, we had Anthony Dasher on talking about tonight's basketball game, but really spent the bulk of the time talking about the football deal. I think it's interesting that a program like Georgia just kind of picks and chooses, nibbles around the edges. I think it's interesting that Ohio State this year pulled back. Their fan base is highly upset. They had a net negative versus a couple years ago when they went all in and went for a national championship. It kind of reminds me of you see in the NFL sometimes or in basketball or some of these sports where a team feels like they're close and they go get a few additions and they really load it up and go for it. And then some years you pull back, but different approaches. It's personally, if you made me king over at UT, I'd spend my money in the portal and I'd go get knowns. But let's go to the phones and get as many people in here. And we'll know who these folks are as we talk to them. Hello and welcome in. And shout out to Alan Ward, who I want to wish a lot of luck today at the craps table because, he has to keep us going over here. Hello and welcome in. WeShipFloors.com. You're on the air. Hi.
Hey, what's going on, Tony? Who's your ball run?
There he is, right on the spot.
Hey, amen, hallelujah, praise the Lord, everything you all just said. I'm frustrated with our portal stuff, not necessarily because we didn't get a proven quarterback. It's because we're wasting money recruiting quarterbacks we're afraid to play. And what in the heck is the point of that?
I don't know.
It's not so much that, we didn't get a quarterback in the portal. Why did we waste our time recruiting GMAC to not play him for 2 years? 2 years is an eternity in this sport.
No
He's
doubt.
never going to play it down if he ain't going to play 2 years.
And
here.
conservatively, they probably paid that kid around $2 million.
A year or total?
No, $2 million total, which is kind of remarkable,
Okay.
right?
Well, it's $2 million to work out, which you have to do anyway. And we portaled a camp arm. You know what's sitting? I know what the YouTuber's going to say. Oh, here comes Hoosierville talking Signetti. I'd take notes, y'all. He's doing pretty good. He does the opposite. Signetti High School's a camp arm. You get the privilege of coming to Indiana, and he portals the guarantee. 3 for 3 so far.
No, he's right.
Ohio guy.
That's right.
Mendoza, and we'll see what happens with Hoover. They're not going to win the Natty again, but I bet they go 10-2.
To Sean's point, another have, and Tennessee's a have, just like Oregon's a have. Tennessee should never go into a season with a question mark at quarterback. Sorry. Shouldn't. Tennessee has a budget to not go into a season with a question mark at quarterback. They just shouldn't. And they shouldn't be getting 112 out of the portal. It makes
Why
sense.
would you portal a camp arm and recruit something you're not going to play for millions of dollars? That's so backwards.
I don't know. Sean, he is right. Think about what Oregon does, Sean. Oregon went the last 3 years, 1, 2, 3. And they've had very good results. They're living in the playoffs, basically, doing what they're doing. And that is the most important position out there.
They are. Well, a component of this that we haven't talked about is that schools like Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, and Ohio State do such an amazing job of high school recruiting that they are spending a lot of money retaining those kids.
Yep.
Now, certainly some move away. But if you take a look at Georgia's roster, if you take a look at, for the most part, Alabama's roster, Ohio State and Oregon's roster, there's nothing in the portal that they can go get that's significantly better than what they have on campus already. It's just younger. We've not been we've won a couple battles here. Yes, we've got David Sanders. Yes, we got this guy. Okay, you're right. No doubt. We're not recruiting against Alabama, Georgia. There's no way. I mean, if you went and I get this sentimentality of getting to know these kids and their parents and all that. Josh Heupel was crazy if he would say, would you trade your signing class with their signing class? And he said, no. That's absurd. The difference in the quality is remarkable between signing classes over the past 5 years. And so I think that's why, they can go. Georgia can lay out of it and go get that wide receiver from USC that came on late and did some damage for them. Oregon can pick up a guy here or there. Ohio State can pluck the running back from Ole Miss a year or so ago and help them out. So that's a little bit different, but I think Hoosier Ball. I think he's dead on. Signetti's got this thing patented, and he's just working it, and he's running in front of everybody else.
Signetti, one caveat, Sean, in terms of offensive line, defensive line, and quarterback, maybe not in that order, Signetti is right. Now, Heupel, I love Heupel, but here's the thing. Pick the Gunnar Stockton, Georgia development, Ty Simpson, Alabama development route, or go portal. Don't pick one, bud, and believe in yourself. And if we had to have Faison and McIntyre, play them. And if you're not going to play them, what in the heck is the point? Why did we go get William Satterwhite out of Big Ten Rust Belt country and beat out Ohio State and Michigan and never play them? That's expensive and a waste of time.
Thank you, Hoosier
Same
Ball, Ryan.
concept.
Interesting stuff. And by the way, shout out to Nebraska and Michigan last night. You talk about putting on a college basketball show. That was an incredible basketball game up at Michigan that Michigan came from behind and won. That was insane. Talk about some high-level basketball, those two teams. The Vols tonight with Georgia. We hope that's a high-level game. We're on with Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime after it. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hello?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I sure can. Go right ahead.
Okay. You were saying something about Austin Price. He works for VolQuest.
He's the best.
Revivals is the one do that. So they're on 3 now. So we go to 247 with Ryan Callahan.
Yep.
They got as of yesterday, we were rated 7th.
Yep.
We had 3 5-stars.
Yep.
So Austin has nothing to do with Revivals. He's a VolQuest man.
Oh, no, no, On 3 owns Rivals. I don't know if you knew that or not. The On 3 rankings, Shannon Terry bought Rivals.
Yeah, but that's what I say. Revivals was what they was repeating. It was not VolQuest.
Oh, no. I know that. And I was kidding, sir. I love Austin and Brent. I was messing around. I love those guys.
Okay, but go to 247.
Yeah.
And, find your team and let's put up team rankings and see where we're at.
Yeah, we're 7 over there, right?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
In the high school rankings, yes.
And we had 3 5-stars.
Yep, 3 of them.
And one of them, the top one was the quarterback.
And they still have.
The receiver from Mississippi.
And they still have
the
Keys.
Offensive lineman from Chattanooga.
Well, I love Austin. Those guys work at it, and I was just having fun with those guys.
All right.
Thank you, my brother. You're a good man. Thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah, and Shannon Terry.
The curious thing about that was when On 3 bought Rivals.
Yep.
On 3 was pretty much at the time the gold standard, in my opinion, of rankings. That's where I went. That's where most people went.
Yes.
Rivals, not so much.
Right.
I can't speak to 247. And then, for whatever reason, when they married the two, they started promoting the Rivals rankings, which I don't think have been accurate lately, as accurate as the On 3. I'm not sure why they did that. Perhaps maybe it's not such that the Rivals people are making all the decisions now. On 3's been moved to the back of the line. I don't know about that, but most people that I talk to would first check out On 3's rankings before they'd ever check out Rivals.
The bus rate of these quarterbacks too. Like I was telling Brian off the air, I kind of mean this. It's almost a comfort to be downgraded from a 5-star to a 4-star. The bust rate on the 5-star quarterbacks, I mean, in a weird kind of way, it's pretty high bust rate. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air. Welcome in on our Wednesday. Hi. Try this again. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air. All right. Well, that feller is, or gal is nowhere to be found. All right, so let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Watson Brown's going to join us. And on our Watson Brown syllabus today, I got to ask him a couple of things because, well, he's a man, and we love having Watson on a Wednesday. First of all, one thing I want to ask Watson about is this Mensa thing with Miami and what it means. And then I do want to talk to him about Faison Brandon losing his 5-star. Really, I want to ask him, though, why the bust rate on 5-star quarterbacks is so high. Sean, do you have a thought on that? Why? Like, Nico's entire class, basically, was a washout. Why do we see so many 5-star guys fail to hit? The quarterbacks especially.
I think it could be a combination of factors. I think a lot of the it's very hard for I would guess for services to judge every player on the same scale because different players play against different levels of competition.
Yep.
Different kid size. A kid in with respect to Oklahoma or Tennessee is not seeing the same overall competition as Georgia, Florida, perhaps Texas. I'm not saying those states are better. I'm just saying that's been proven out a number of years.
Yep.
So I think they rely on a lot of times they can consolidate and go to camps. I think a lot of these evaluations are done in classrooms and in shorts. Pajamas, if you will, for Nico's sake. Also, I think the thing is just like what happens with, the NFL. First-round draft choice quarterbacks are thrown onto the field extremely early, whether they're ready or not. And I think that's a sink or swim. And I think most of those guys sink. I think in college, the thing is to get those guys, Dylan Raiola, a lot of these at Nico, a lot of these guys. If you got a 5-star kid that's supposed to be coming in, people want to see him on the field. The booster that wrote the check wants to see him on the field, whether they're ready or not. A lot of times they stink. So I think it's a multifactorial.
I'm going to get Watson Brown's thoughts on it. 865-200-5402. And then I want to ask him about this Curtis kid that Vandy's got, what kind of player he is. Because they may have to end up throwing him out there. They might have to end up throwing him out. I mean, do they have anybody else? Do you guys know? Does Vandy have anybody else? I mean, I don't worry about Vandy, but I know they've got. And by the way, almost simultaneously to our guy losing a star, Pavia lost like 4 inches. Our guy lost a star. And Pavia, Pavia could play like one of the midgets in the. You can't say midget. What do they call midgets now, Bri? Pavia could have played in the Wizard of Oz, marching down the Gold Brick Road with Dorothy, Bri. Go! Pavia! Pavia! And somebody said yesterday Pavia is going to make a great wrestler. He would make a great wrestler. Maybe we could be the first sellout in the Titan Stadium. Put a WrestleMania down there, their new stadiums. We continue with more after this.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
It's the hottest postgame show on the planet. Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
When a dangerous, overgrown, or storm-damaged tree is threatening your home, your car, or your family, don't risk it. Call ECR Total Landscapes, your local tree-cutting experts. From precision tree removal and trimming to emergency storm cleanup, ECR Total Landscapes has the equipment and the experience to get the job done safely and efficiently. Call today to set up your free estimate, 865-384-2012, or just go online to ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama Zizi approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and Zizi.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
Newsflash, Basilio listeners, the spring real estate market just moved up. Yes, it's chilly outside and you're still in your puffy coat, but if you need to sell your East Tennessee property, you could be the hottest house on the block. Hi there. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. February is the sweetheart month of real estate, and savvy sellers know exactly what that means. Get ahead of the game and give me a call at 865-694-5904 or reach out at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols!
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today. Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
VIP Play coming soon. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Must be 21 plus and located in Tennessee to bet.
Chilio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality, pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from B. Online at carnesmotor.com. Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company. It is a weekly tradition. So weekly, when we interface with the great Watson Brown, we have dead air. And why? Because I get carried away to talking to him. Why? Because I love him. He's the king of cool. He's incredible. He's incredible. And I want to shout out Leslie in Maury County. Murray County, Bri. Is it Murray County or Maury County, Bri? What do we call it?
Maury. If it's Columbia, then that.
Yeah, Murray County. Murray County. Yeah. Murray County.
Maury
yeah.
County.
Yeah, okay. She sent me a copy of your book that you wrote while you were at Vanderbilt, Watson.
Well, I didn't write it. Rex Dockery's wife wrote it.
It's excellent.
She got things from me, but she's the one that did the book. No, I had nothing to do with the book.
Well, she sent me a copy.
Other than to give her information.
She sent me a copy of it, and it's fine to have, and I want to shout her out. And Leslie, they've really been hammered by the storm as well. She sent me some eerie photos.
Yeah, that area got hit hard.
Oh, man. That's scary stuff, buddy. That ice is scary stuff. But, Watson, you and I were talking about the fact that, you know, you miss a day, you miss a lot in these sports. And first of all, let's start here. What did you make of Dabo Swinney coming out with receipts over at Clemson? Not that he called out Kiffin for what he did, or not Kiffin, but Pete Golding. How quickly we forget here. But Pete Golding carrying on like Kiffin, shall we say. But the way he did that, as publicly as he did it, Watson, what do you make of that?
Well, sooner or later somebody was going to, because we all know that all this is not above board. You don't commit to somebody the first day the portal opens. You've got to been talking to somebody before that. So, I mean, we all know it's the Wild Wild West. It doesn't surprise me that somebody steps and calls it out. It wouldn't surprise me that it's him, because he's the one that's fought the portal in the NIL from the beginning, and he's slowly giving in, which you have to. I mean, I'm surprised it's taken him this long, but. So if I had to pick one that would have done it, that's the guy that I would have picked, because he was the latest to jump into the fight.
In your humble opinion, when you look at this Mensa guy that just played at Duke, right? And he's a nice player. But Duke did the exact same thing. They punked Tulane and paid him a lot of money. We were talking about it last year, the crazy contract they gave him to go there. And now all of a sudden, you know, they got their Wheaties relieved in, shall we say, as all of a sudden they're sitting there today and their quarterback's now off to Miami after they reached a settlement with Miami. So I guess Miami's going to pay them some money for the rights for wrecking their football season. What do you think that kid's an impact player, Mensa at Miami?
He's better than the alternative. The alternative was nothing. Inexperience, which they can't handle. This is what happens, Tony, in my personal opinion, because this is the way it was in a different way as I grew up. In my old days, if you went junior college, 100%, okay, we're going to fix this quick. You stayed with junior college. You couldn't midway go back to high school again, because it was going to cost you 2 or 3 years and you'd never make it. So once you go, you're bit and you have to stay there. This is exactly what the portal's doing, the exact same thing. You go heavy to the portal, and you do not have the high school come up through the ranks built in your system, And that's what Miami has done, and now they got to stay there. So they have no choice. He was the best available, and so he's better than what they had. So that's exactly why they did it.
Yeah, it's almost like, and they were backed into a corner to where, hey, we're desperate. The clock is ticking. I know you guys have a 2-year deal with him, but Duke didn't want to meet him in court. And then I guess there's also the other component, as somebody had mentioned to me, that I haven't really accounted for, which is, why would I keep a guy on my roster that publicly doesn't want to be here? Like, let's say we go to court and we win the court case against him. Now I've got a real issue because I've got a player on my team that doesn't want to be here. And so, that becomes an issue as well when you think about it.
Oh, it's a major issue. They're caught. You're caught in that position. In Duke's position, you're caught. And there's nothing you can do about it because there's not an alternative. There's not one. Not to match what you had. So they got about the best they could get out of it, but they couldn't bring him back and fight him and then bring him back. No way. No way. It's no different to me on the other way. When a kid wants to leave and then you go try to fight to keep him and he don't want to be there, or the second piece of that is he does leave and then decides, no, I'm going to come back after something happens or whatever. The coaches don't want him back. You don't see him coming back, not like that. Now, you might see one go to the portal and then stay. That's a little bit different because that's just filling out for the money, and you've probably talked to your coaches about that before you did and said, Coach, all I'm doing is see how much I can get. You've got to understand that. Okay, that one you might can handle. Some coaches don't even want that one, but some coaches will handle that one. But the other way, no coach wants that guy back. You know he don't want to be there, and he doesn't want to just be there just because of money. There's other pieces involved in it. So I don't know. I don't see it. That's where I just don't see an end to this, Tony. And everybody now is jumping in the portal. What is probably being averaged on the Power Fours? About 20 kids, new kids walking in the door in December, or in January when school starts.
That's exactly right.
That's about average.
Yeah.
So everybody basically has gone the old-time junior college route. Mm-hmm. They are mixing the better programs, the traditional better programs are still bringing in high school kids. But a lot of the ones that aren't even doing that. They're just gone. They've gone 100%. And I'm telling you, when you go, if you decide somewhere to go back to the high school and then mix some portal and heavy high school, but mixed portal, then you're going to lose for a little bit. And in the world today, it ain't going to happen. You're not going to get to stay around.
Alan Ward adds he's got friends that are huge boosters at Clemson, spent a lot of money there, and he's over on our YouTube channel. He says Dabo's 100% trying to keep his job there, trying to save face, because those folks behind the scenes are highly upset with how his program has slipped, which brings me to this, Watson. He's a real good test case because, they've continued to say pretty steadfast with the high school recruiting and have, for the most part, ignored the portal. I mean, now he's getting a few portal guys here or there, but not like you're saying, like Tennessee this year is north of 20 players in the portal. That's a huge...
most everybody is.
Yeah, right. So I just don't see, and Sean and I were just talking about this, there's very little crossover between the top 10 portal classes and the top 10 high school ranked classes. There is very little crossover in the schools, but the schools last year that were in the playoffs predominantly came out of the top 10 portal classes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, it's the way it's going to be. It can't go back. I mean, Dabo made a mistake. We talked about this a couple of years ago, Tony, on your show. And we said, we're going to see. He's about the only one, other than the academies, he's about the only one fighting this. And says, no, we can do it the old way. And it didn't work. And we said then, I hope it does, because it would slow this down if he could make it work. He couldn't make it work. And so he's going to have to go to the portal more. He's going to have to. And if he gets a chance to stay around, because he's put himself behind the 8 ball. And when Indiana can do what they did in a 2-year period, and really even in a 1-year period, but in a 2-year period, if Indiana can do what they did at Indiana, the program traditionally that had lost more games than any school in college football, in the power school in college football, and you can do this, then everybody's going to look at him and say, what are you doing? What are you doing? And how long can he hang on doing that? I just think, I'm surprised he didn't go deeper into the portal this year than he did. But he's got schools in his league that have jumped big time into the portal, Miami being the top dog, and he's got to beat those folks if he's going to hang around, Tony. He's got to beat them.
Well, what's interesting is Virginia Tech, Sean just said, he shared the list with us. Virginia Tech is like what, Sean, on that list? 10 or 11, something like that? Cinco?
Yeah, in fairness, everybody has a list. This is just a list I grabbed, not that I compiled, that I grabbed from one of the sites. Yeah, that had Virginia Tech, but there was some of the other ones have Ohio State, so you never know. I wish I had a definitive composite list, but I don't. But, Coach, I wanted to ask you a question. Before you came on here, and I know this is kind of a take, and a lot of the show is entertainment. Whether I'm entertained or not, it's not for me to judge. But I made the comment that I couldn't understand how Mike Slive woke up this morning with a job.
You mean no, not Mike Slive? You're talking about it because Cinco's fighting.
Mike Sankey.
Greg Sankey, yeah.
Cinco's
fighting the flu right now.
Greg Sankey, not Mike Sankey.
I like Mike Sankey.
How in the world does the late great Roy Kramer still have a job? I'm just kidding. But Mike Sankey, Coach, here's a guy who's walked around like a peacock for the past decade or so. He's out in front of everything. He's lording over college sports. Everything seemingly has to go through him. And yet, here's a guy that got, and I was for the 9-game. Someone on the post said you guys are complaining. No, I'm not complaining. I'm for a 9-game conference schedule because I'm a ticket holder. I want to see better games. But he got convinced that a 9-game conference schedule for the SEC would be a game leveler with the other conferences. The whole idea was that we would go to a 16-team playoff, and now they're not doing that. And the Big Ten is just sitting there laughing, and they've got 3 national championships. And frankly, when the music stopped, Mike Sankey, he doesn't have a chair to sit down on. The Big Ten's sitting in all the chairs.
Well, first of all, John, I hope you feel better, buddy. But I agree with you, Sean, in that I think the decision was made off of money. I have no proof of that, but that 9th game to ESPN is huge. It gives them a bunch of better games. That's what that does, and I think it was made off of money. I think that the SEC knows they're going to get so many in every year. And the Big Ten's been playing 9, right? Tony, am I right about that? The Big Ten's been playing
9. Yeah, the other leagues are, yeah.
And yes, they have also now won 3 straight national championships.
Ruh-roh.
So I don't think the 9 killed them. And the SEC wants to talk about how much deeper it is than the Big Ten. I don't know when you've added the ones that the Big Ten added with Oregon and Washington, and the ones they added, Southern Cal. I don't know that that's true anymore. I think they're very equal in that way. The bottom half come and go a little bit. The bottom halves in all the leagues are getting better because of money. They can now go buy these kids, and now I've said it 1,000 million times. It's not near as important what's on the side of that helmet when you're throwing millions of dollars around to get certain players. So I just think the SEC's got to look in the mirror and what is it we're missing here? What is it that we're missing? And I can't answer that. I don't see that the SEC has gone down. I see the Big Ten has come up. The talent level in the Big Ten. The Big Ten always had the big old strong bodies. Now they've got the speed and the athletes.
Yep.
The Big Ten does not look like the old Big Ten anymore. The Big Ten would knock you down and beat you. Now they've got great quarterback play, great receiver play. And so I don't know that it's anything other than I think the Big Ten has caught up talent-wise with the Southeastern Conference. And I do think these kids in the Deep South now will go north more for two reasons. Number one, they're seeing it a lot better. The image of the Big Ten is a lot better. Number two, the money is being thrown around. And I don't care where the kid doesn't care where he goes if he's getting the money that he wants.
I'm bowing my head right now because this man right here is laying it right on your grill. Just like my friends at Simpson's Meats, and he's presented by our friends at Simpson's Meats, ladies and gentlemen. He's a great Watson Brown. And they raise and source their meat from farms on pasture on purpose, comfortably continuing a tradition that began in 1888 on the great Jim Simpson's farm. And whether it's steaks or burgers or sausages or roast or chicken, variety of local offerings at their butcher shop. They've also got milk and honey and jam and eggs and so much more. You can taste the best of our Tennessee community. Those of you outside the area, you can order gift boxes and ship them anywhere in the world, and they'll do that for you. And they make a wonderful gift. Premium meats will be shipped anywhere in this country, simpsonsmeats.com. And let me tell you something. When you do that, the folks you send that to will say, God, somebody loves me. Somebody loves me for sure, because it is a great gift. And Watson, you know, it's hard right now to fire the grill up on a day like today. Although, lovely Laura was telling me, she said, if that temperature climbs up there another 5 degrees, we might go out there and fire that grill up. You got to be pretty hardcore if you're grilling right now. What do you think?
It's easy when you know what you're fixing to put on that grill.
Boom!
When you stick a piece of meat from Simpson's on that grill, buddy, it's real easy.
Alas.
I can step out the door and cook that really quick like now. I can tell you. I'll bundle up to eat a piece of that meat. It's just fantastic.
Hey, Watson, Matt Dixon brought a good point up at the Big Ten yesterday, and I'm not here to glaze the Big Ten. Neither are you. But it was just a foregone conclusion for forever and ever that the SEC is superior to the Big Ten. And when they hold the last three national championships, and then you look at how we've performed in this head-to-head playoff, I don't know. And last year the SEC just didn't look great to me. It feels like it's going to be like you said at one point. These aren't programs anymore. These are year-to-year deals. And it feels like the same thing is true of the conferences. But Matt said if you look at the coaching hires in that league and you look at the coaching hires in this league, he said it feels like they've got better coaching in their league right now, which is an interesting thing to say.
I don't know that I would go there. I think there's good coaching in both, and I don't think there's enough difference to say that myself. I'm not defending anybody. I'm just a fan now that watches it, and I don't see that somebody is out coaching somebody. I just see the depth of players. Right now, the Big Ten has caught the SEC, and I think it's all about quarterback play. The Big Ten has had really good quarterback play here in the schools in the playoffs.
Yes, they have.
They've had good quarterback play. Oregon's guy this year had a tough deal. But Howard last year was fantastic. Wasn't that his name? The kid from Kansas State for Ohio State.
Howard went right in
was
there.
fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Yep.
And the quarterback play from Indiana this year, nobody could touch him. He was a phenomenal college football player.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody could touch him. He could do everything, Tony. He was the leader of that team. He had very smart. He just never threw the ball to the wrong places. And that's coaching, yeah, but it's also that guy. I'm a pretty good quarterback coach. I had a tough time coaching the one that couldn't do that as good as others. So I just think quarterback play here in recent years has been phenomenal in the Big Ten, and I think it's fallen off a little bit maybe in the SEC. But it comes around. What goes around comes around. The SEC should not be desperate. Just keep working at it and get back there and win it the next year. So I don't see an issue other than maybe a little bit of overconfidence. You know, you get to where you think you're just nobody can beat you, and you look in the mirror and you've been beat now. And so I would like to think the SEC is gritting their teeth and coming back, playing with fire here and getting after it. And we'll see a difference because the Big Ten's earned it. You can't sugarcoat it in any way. You cannot. The difference I see is, yes, all these programs have brought in strong coaches in the Big Ten, but I don't think that takes the SEC and throws it down. I just think they've had better players, and the line play's always been good in the Big Ten. But now the defensive line in the Big Ten is really coming on. The quickness in the defensive lines in the Big Ten and the skill receivers, night and day difference. What I think these kids are seeing, Tony, it wasn't the cold weather as much to me as conservative play. These kids in the South wouldn't go north because they saw conservative play. They didn't. Yes. They weren't get the ball much. Now these offenses in the Big Ten have opened it up, and they're slinging it everywhere and bringing the West Coast in. Now everybody went, "Oh my God, what in the world are they doing?" That was a good move. That was a good move because it brought wide open this end of the Big Ten, and everybody now is copying it a little bit. And so it's caught the SEC, and I can't wait to watch these schools, these programs in the SEC, and see where they go from here. And do they get back up on top again? It's going to be fun to watch.
Hey, Coach,
go ahead, Sink.
Coach, I've got a question for you. Off subject here. I've asked you many times over the years to put on one of the hats you used to wear, and so I think it'd be interesting if you would put your head coaching hat back on and take the listeners behind the scenes. So, as of right now, there's very little to no more recruiting going on. You've made all your staff hires. Your players are in the strength and conditioning program right now. They're back in class. So, I mean, I guess you could have some meetings now, but what are you prioritizing right now as a head coach? Stuff like self-scouting. Are you analyzing opponents yet? Are you refining your playbook? Are you establishing parameters with your new hires being coordinators? What's going on in Coach Watson Brown's mind right now if you are a head coach right now at the University of Tennessee?
We did two things that I thought was always good. There's a lot of things I look back on that I would change. But this is one of the things I thought was really good. At this point, as soon as it finishes, I gave them that long weekend because of signing date on that Wednesday. And they came back on Monday, and we flat went after it. And we were locked in rooms, and the only way we got out was to visit somebody else. But we were spending it to learn from. And we're spending our time self-scouting ourselves, putting next year's team together. What player do we need to do this with? What does this player do the best? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm putting a playbook together right now. I thought it was the most important time of the year for the coaches. And because we're flat putting together, and then we're going to take the basics of that and work on it in spring practice, put the rest of it in the summer. But everybody says, well, you've got your playbook. No, my playbook changed every year, Sean. You better keep up with the Joneses, and you better do what your players can do best. And if you're going to sit there and say, we got all the answers and it don't matter, we're not going to tell anybody what we do because we got all the answers. You're fixing to get your butt beat. You better keep up with the Joneses, and you better be changing. And one of the changes, Sean, to me was always, what did people do to us? And where are we weak technically? Not physically. You've tried to work on the physical piece in recruiting, but technically, where were we weak? What did the defenses do to us that really gave us problems? What did the offenses do to us that really gave us problems? I thought this was the most important time in coaching is putting it together, and by the time you get to spring practice, you know exactly what you're going to do. It would tweak a little, Sean, in spring ball when you had those players that, well, he may not be as good at this as we thought. He does this a little bit better. So there'd be some tweaking through spring ball. But by the time summer got here, all that work in the winter, now it's time to put it together and let it fly.
Hey, Watson, we did as Watson Brown joins, presented by our friends at Simpsons Meats, online simpsonsmeats.com. Steaks always make a great gift, and gift boxes are available for you. We were talking about this Brandon kid earlier, Tennessee's one-time five-star signee, who's been downgraded by one of the services to a 4-star. I don't know how they do all this stuff, but they sent out their final rankings yesterday, and he fell. But it begs the question, because we've seen a lot of it here, and we saw it with Nico. We've seen it all across college football, really, and in recent years, it feels like it's getting worse. So many of these 5-star quarterbacks end up washing out. And not only do they not realize it, but a couple guys from Nico's class have transferred 3 or 4 times already. I think there's one kid that's going to finish over at New Mexico State I saw. It just kind of makes no sense. How and why is that position so hard to get a grasp on? And why do so many of those 5-star quarterbacks, Watson, wash out from the high school level to the college level?
Well, number one, there's a lot of reasons. One of the things always concerned me was who are you playing against? I think a lot of the ratings also come from the camps, and I don't think that's where they ought to be rated from. They need to be watching them play in pads and what kind of competition are they playing against. I think that's very, very important. But quarterback is the hardest, in my opinion, to hit, because you're going to play one. And so if you bring in the quarterback and he's not as good as 2 of the ones you got, you can't move him to safety. You can't move him to tight end very often. You're stuck. You're stuck. I always said that about my punters and kickers. I always thought that punters and kickers were a very important decision because they're a one position or nothing. I said that about offensive linemen. They're one position or nothing. And if you can't play offensive guard for us, there's no place else for you to play. You can't miss on those kids. And I worry that everybody is now having to recruit them so quick because everybody else is, Tony. And I'm talking high school now. I'm not talking portal. I'm talking the high school kids. So you gotta decide quick, because if you're the 20th to offer him, you got no shot at him. So everybody's having to decide too quickly, and you haven't watched him play enough. You haven't watched him practice enough. You hadn't been in his home enough and know all of the pieces that quarterbacks have to have. And I always thought the good coaches knew what a quarterback needed to be. Know all of the pieces a quarterback's got to have, and if he's missing any one of these pieces, he ain't going to make it. You can have the greatest talent in the world, but if you're not a gamer when it's time to be a gamer, you're going to be a Joe. You're just going to be a Joe. If you can't make the plays when it's time to make a play, if you can't make the play after you started poorly in the first quarter and you got to come back in the fourth quarter and win that sucker, then you're a Joe. And I just think you can't see those kind of things in camp. And I think we all got too much in that because we had to offer quick to have any shot at those top dogs. And that's what I think part of this is. But it's so hard because that's one of those few positions that you're recruiting that if he doesn't pan out, then you got a dud. He can't play anywhere else. And they end up leaving. And that's why this has been going on forever. All these ratings that have happened for the last 20 years is one thing. But before all the ratings, you were missing on quarterbacks. I watched many of them miss on QBs, and because it's a very hard guy to be the guy, and that's such a big thing. You're not talking about having 5 guards. You got to have one quarterback, and he's got to be the guy. And buddy, you better not miss.
It's so funny the way you put that. Listening to you unpack that answer, because it's like Jerry Colquitt told me. He said, quarterbacks just have to be different. They've got to carry themselves differently. They've got to behave differently. You cannot act like a wide receiver and be a quarterback. They've got to be team-oriented. But they truly have to be great when the money's on the line. And, the thing that really kind of aggravates me about SEC football is I didn't see anybody react and respond to what Vanderbilt did. We're still going for a type. We're still going for a height and a weight in this league, rather than can you play or can you not play. I was hoping Tennessee would gamble on a can you play and can you not play and give a guy a shot from a lower level that put up a bunch of yards. But we're going for a type. And I wonder, Watson, is that why right now the college game has never produced less quarterbacks that are ready to play in the NFL than they are right now? Because it's getting worse and worse every year.
Well, the NFL is still taking a certain guy because of the talent level, and where the college guys are playing with athletes much more than the old days, much more. And the pro guys still got to have the guy that can see. They've got to have the physical pieces, and most of the guys, so they're not going there. And those guys rushing are great athletes. They cannot run them as much because they're going to get hurt. Look at Bo Nix. Bo Nix got hurt how? Carrying the ball. Running a quarterback sweep at a very critical time in the game and broke his ankle.
Yes.
So they're not running them as much. The Josh Allens of the world are just different.
Yes.
And he's been very lucky, by the way. Very lucky.
Very lucky.
But I think the easiest thing to decide on on quarterbacks, Tony, is physical ability. The other pieces are the hard decisions. And if they don't have the other pieces, I don't care how physically good they are. I don't care. They're not going to be the guy.
What? Let me ask you
this.
this.
They're the guy sitting over there on the bench says, "Oh, we'll give him another year, and he's going to be a really good player. Give him another year." And he never pans out because he's a Joe, because he's missing the pieces. Some of those pieces you can see watching them play.
Yeah.
You've got to be there and watch them and make critical plays. I'm not talking about when they're beating somebody 28-7. I'm talking about when they're down 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and watch that guy bring them back and make critical play after play after play. But then the leadership piece is so misunderstood. I've always said, and 100% agree, because I played the position, and I've said all my life, I don't give a dang who you elect captains. There's one guy that better be a captain, whether he's elected it or not.
Oh, boy.
Or you're missing something, and that's your quarterback. I don't care. I've had freshman and sophomore quarterbacks come in, but they had that leadership ability.
Yes.
And when the players watched them on the field with that leadership qualities they got,
then
all of a sudden they cling to them. I didn't get the players know a great player. They don't give a dang if he's a sophomore or a senior. So all this, okay, who are going to be our senior captains this year? My statement was always let players elect it, but this one better be, or we're not going to be very good. So that's just the way I feel about it. And I'd like to throw out, how good was Condred Holloway?
Well, exactly. That's my point.
He was pretty good, wasn't he?
Why do I have to be 6'3", 6'4" to play quarterback in this league when down through the years there have been so many great players that weren't big guys? Walter Lewis is another guy that played at Alabama in the mid-'80s. You know what? Walter Lewis was he's a guy that today they would look at and say, can't play. He's a hell of a player. Hell of a player.
No, Tony, go back and look at all the great ones, and you're going to see, if you listed all the great ones, about a third of those are not going to be the height you'd want them to be. About a third, maybe higher than that. I may not be fair in that statement.
Well, Drew Brees
And I'm not talking about in today's game.
Yes, in any game.
I'm just, go back and look at the quarterbacks. And some of them were a little frail. I can remember watching Joe Montana play.
Exactly.
I remember watching Joe play, and but what was he? And what was he in the NFL? It's a bunch of junk, and I'm not saying you go hunt 6'5", guys. I'm not saying that. But when you find him, don't be afraid to sign him. Don't be afraid to take him, because you know in your heart he's got all the pieces, and you're sitting there saying, but he's 5'10". Don't do that. That's the piece I'd tell coaches today. Judge him and you love him, but then don't put him down because he's 5'10". Don't do it.
So Pavia
and
did
you
nobody
needed
doors.
to see him play against really good players.
Yeah.
You needed to see in high school him playing against really good players. You need to see him in high school making plays when he needs to make them. You need to see his poise. You need to see his leadership. You dang sure need to see his mental and physical toughness. You need to see his athleticism. But if you've got all that, Tony, don't put him down and put a 6'4" guy in front of him. Don't do that. That's all I'd say.
I'll tell you this, and you all can laugh at me. I don't know what kind of NFL player Pavia is, but if I was a franchise, I'd bring him in the camp, and I'd give him
he's going to camp.
And I'd give him a damn chance. Okay.
Same thing with the kid from Ole Miss. Same thing now.
No,
those might be. Well, they were the two best quarterbacks in the SEC this year.
Leaders, baby, and
both
leaders
of them
with
were under
onions.
6 foot.
Leaders with onions, brother. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with you 100%. He's got to have all the pieces, but don't put him down because the one piece is he's a little shorter than what you'd want him to be.
You know, the other thing too is, and I'm not picking at Nico, Sean, but one of the things we said about Nico right away was that he did not raise the level of guys around him. You could see it right away, Sean. You could see it literally almost right away, Cinco. It was uncanny, wasn't it? How he could do all these other things on a field, but that gene, that leadership gene, man, that is such a hard position. Now when you hear Watson unpack it, it's pretty interesting
and I
to think about.
It is, and I think the kid obviously didn't have it, and maybe it was stolen by his father.
Maybe.
His dad was a big wet blanket on a lot of things, and maybe him. But I think that with the thing that really sticks out to me about Nico was that Oklahoma game 2 years ago. It was supposed to be the coming out party. Josh Heupel's going back to his alma mater. They're doing all that, and I just looked at Nico on TV, of course, and his eyes were as big as saucers, and it looked like he had no clue what was coming at him. And that's where I got really concerned. You can have all the quote-unquote arm talent, 40 time, et cetera. He looked like he was a fish out of water in major college football. And I know he's had some nice games and all, but I don't know how much you improve on that.
Yeah, I don't either. Watson, on the way out, it's an interesting time at all these levels. It's interesting to watch what the NFL's doing. What do you make of, because they say it's some pettiness, they say the hoodie down through the years was a very, very hard man to get along with, and he's not a first ballot Hall of Fame NFL coach, Watson, after all those accomplishments?
That's a disgrace. That's people voting that don't know what they're doing. That's all that is. The Heisman vote needs to be people that know what they're doing, because it's a very important deal. And you getting in Hall of Fames, the people making those votes to put you in the Hall of Fame need to know what they're doing. That's a disgrace. Over something about a deflated football or this or that. Come on, give me a break. That's a disgrace. That is all I can say. I feel bad for Coach Belichick, but I feel real bad for the NFL, because it's a
total
black eye in the face. That's all it is.
I mean, look. It'd be like Michael Jordan, okay? Was he a nice guy? No. Were you going to put him in the second ballot just to kind of teach him a lesson because he wasn't nice to you at a press conference or whatever? I mean, that's one of the more ridiculous things we've seen in the modern era. It's ridiculous.
It's really, really sad. It's really, really sad. And I felt awful when I saw that.
Yes.
I felt awful. And I felt for Coach Belichick, but I felt for the NFL.
Yes.
And I promise you, everybody in that league said the same thing. Oh, my God, what are we doing?
Yes.
This is embarrassing. I promise you, from administrators through the coaches through the players, they were all embarrassed when they saw that.
I mean, and the NFL can't do anything about it because I
don't know who decides who's on those Hall of Fame votes.
Yeah, it's the writers.
If the NFL can do something about that, they need to take care of it.
Wow.
They need to take care of it and have people that know what they're doing and why they're making decisions that they're making, because that is a very important vote. That is a very important vote, man. That's the history of the league, all-time history of the league. Those guys, coaches, owners, whoever gets in that, man, they need to deserve it. And then the ones that don't get in that do, it's even more fix it.
And he's not a.
And I don't think this is fixable because he's a first ballot guy.
Yeah, it's a joke. I mean, come on, it's
embarrassing. That's all I can say. I just feel for everybody. Man.
I mean, what was Tom Landry not going to go in? Was Chuck Noll not going to go in on the first ballot? Was were we going to do this to the guy from San Francisco? Who am I thinking of here? The Walsh, Bill Walsh. We're going to do this to Bill Walsh,
Vince Lombardi.
Lombardi.
There's certain guys
guys.
It's a no-brainer.
Yes.
And somebody that don't vote for that needs to go. That's all I can say. He needs to go.
Coach, I love you. I appreciate you. You're my main man. We're going to have a great Super Bowl. It's going to be unbelievable, Andy. And I hope you have a great day. Great talking to you.
Love you guys. Always an honor.
Hey,
Get better, Sean.
Yes, and prayers up for our boy George
Coach.
Plaster as well, Coach. He's having those voice issues again.
Yep, he's struggling, but George is George. He gets on and fights it.
Thank you, my man. Love you.
Love you too.
Cinco's in here, and I love Coach Watson Brown, presented by our friends at Simpson's Meat. Cinco's in here playing with the flu today, y'all. He's got a high fever.
Yeah, and it shows.
No, you're fine, babe. No, you're fighting.
Pile of poo and then put my foot in my mouth.
Well, I know you're fine. You're in here playing with the flu today.
I apologize.
No, apologize. You're showing some. Let me tell you something. If I got that flu bug,
I can't tell Sean that you have anything wrong with you.
Yeah, exactly. You don't sound any less cogent or illogical. No offense.
A low bar, I've said.
Low bar.
But I think
yes. That's another way of looking at it. So here we are. The Belichick issue, people calling him Belichick, I get it. He's not a likable guy. The five-star conversation is extremely interesting. The quarterback thing is so fascinating to me because when you look at what college ball is doing right now for the NFL, and I'm not worried about the NFL, I'm not, but there's never been a point in time where the line of demarcation is such from the NFL that you've got literally guys hanging on by a thread. If you watched Aaron Rodgers, who's a weirdo in his own right, try to hang on with the Steelers this year, he's roached. And then Drew Brees came back this year and played. And Brian Hartman,
Phillip Rivers, not Drew Brees.
Phillip Rivers. I'm sorry.
It's Greg Sankey, not Mike Sankey.
And I know that. We know it's Greg.
I had that twisted around like a pretzel.
No, it's Mike Sankey from now on. Mike Sankey. I just want to give a shout out to the people that are now back online listening to us today. And Leslie in Murray County, Leslie. Watson was mispronouncing the name of your county. I didn't want to argue with Watson, who's a member of the state and a native of the state. I don't want to argue with the guy. I mean, but Leslie, if I don't say Murray County, I'm going to get like a very, very angry screed from Leslie today, who I love, who's really fun. VFL 29.
A little breaking news.
Hit it.
The judge in Tuscaloosa has agreed to recuse himself from the rest of the Bediaco deal.
VFL 2019 says, Tony, you're the one who's roached. Oh, that goes without saying. Read me any rule, we'll break it. Read me any fact, I'll twist it. My memory's not going to make my dream. We're going to come back upon our continuance. I want to hear from you. We'll do some overtime, overdrive, but I don't know how long it'll be because we're doing a post game tonight. 7 o'clock Eastern start for the basketball balls. We'll be on with you. tclub.team or wherever you find us with the post game. Ciao. And Matt Dixon said he's fired up, focused, and prepared to get back in there tonight. Congratulations.
Let's get these YouTube likes up, Sheep.
Sheep, we got 248 in the YouTube channel, which is a huge number. We
got less than 90. Let's go.
That's a major market. Well, they don't, they don't like me, and they don't like us, But we'll continue with more on the other side right after this. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care. I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Basilio here with my buddy, Connexio Kristen.
Hey Tony, good to see ya. Connexio builds fleet technology that helps transportation and logistics companies win big. Live GPS, easy ELD and compliance tools, AI dash cameras, and asset tracking, all backed by the #1 U.S. customer support team. Want a better playbook for your operations? Visit Connexio.com/Tony. That's KONEXIAL.com/Tony. Connexio, built for drivers, trusted by fleets, and proud Vol fans.
Tony Basilio here, and I got the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance 2026. Chad, do you believe we've made it?
Boys and girls teams start off the new year at big national event showcases. We got our younger kids training indoors and doing a lot of things to get better. So we're excited about what the future holds.
Chad, I hear the juice behind you. I hear the kids. Your program reaches throughout East Tennessee. If folks want to get involved, what's the advice?
We're easy to get in touch with. We offer players at all ages, all levels, all experience. We have a program for all of our kids that we have, and we're excited for anyone to join us.
And even some Lady Vols as well. Several college players all over the country, yes?
Absolutely. We had a lot of girls that we were able to watch play in the NCAA tournament. A lot of our former players made big runs through the tournament. We're so excited for them.
Growing the beautiful game. In this, the year of the World Cup in North America, celebrate the beautiful game. Get your child involved. FCAllianceKnox.org. That's FCAllianceKnox.org. And Chad, thank you, man. Keep growing the beautiful game.
Absolutely, Tony, and thank you very much.
So he's growing the beautiful game. We're growing ourselves over here. My waistline's growing. Blowing, going, and growing. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We are going to do an overtime segment for the ages. One that will always be remembered. It'll be handed down from generation to generation, no doubt about it. My man William Pattison, he's the next generation of greatness in this here industry. He's up next, followed by Dubsy Russell Smith and his gang, including the great Bob Baskerville, who's out there rising and surprising each and every day, and Baratalia. In the meantime, we love you. We appreciate you. To the radio listener, we love you. Peace.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
865-200-5402. So we have a friendly rivalry going right now with the Big Ten. Some people don't want to admit what they saw. I'm not afraid to admit what I saw because look, during the year, my line was, during the football season, until I sat down and thought about it, and you got to move positions every once in a while, because if you're thinking, you're not afraid to go, hey, but things have changed. When I watched the Big Ten play this year, and Matt made this point yesterday, and I think it's worth pointing out. I watch Iowa. I watch Illinois against us, okay? They smashed us at the line of scrimmage. Now, if you want to admit that or no, and you know how they beat us? They were flying around the ball. I don't know. Okay, I'll give you another one. We got the VD in here today. We got the VD. Okay. Vandy Daddy or Vandy Dandy, whatever he calls himself. I call him the... Anyway, so Vandy Daddy, Vandy Dandy, Vandy Dandy. He's the of our comment section. So here's the question for you, and I'm just trying to ask it in an honest way. Take your blinders off. Think about the playoff game that we had with them. Think about what they did to Vandy Dandy. Think about what they did to his team. Iowa literally swallowed them. They ate that quarterback up like a little minnow. They turned him into an angry guppy. He was flailing around back there like a little fish. And by the way, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Okay? I didn't do it to us. I didn't do it to Vandy Dandy. And I'll tell you this. Tennessee went and paid through the nose. And it was a boss move to do it. For the strength and conditioning coach from, are you ready? From Indiana. Not from LSU. Not from Alabama. Not from Georgia. Not from Florida. Not from Missouri. Not from Texas. Not from Texas A&M. Not from Josh Heupel's Creature Comfort, Oklahoma. You know, we have to open our eyes here and realize that Greg Sankey has allowed the worm to turn. Now, I don't know how it's turned. I don't pretend to know how it's turned. Sean Watson was talking about this. He said the difference is, and you know what? He said the line play on defense and the speed of those guys. Cinco, when he said it, and listen, young kids that do this or people that want to do podcasts or whatever you're doing, don't be afraid to listen. You got to listen. And it's a hard skill to acquire because you're always trying to work toward what you're getting ready to say. But I really do listen. I really try to listen. And Watson said, the speed. Sean, does that ring true to you? And he's talking about the line play. Does that ring true to you based on what you saw?
Well, it really does, and I think the number one thing that comes about is the advent of public money, because back in the day, the athletes aren't coming from different places. The athletes still remain around Texas, the Gulf Coast, the Southeast, and California. Sprinkle in with quite a few, in the Midwest, but you couldn't get. There was a lot of times when before Urban Meyer got to Ohio State, they struggled. A lot of the Big Ten teams struggled, but now that you start recruiting kids, and you had to sell facilities. Well, facilities in 10 and 20 degree weather, like whatever. I don't care if I get a haircut here in the building or whatever. But now, if you're going to throw $800,000 at me, I don't care what the temperature is outside. I think once the Midwest schools, and they're those, if you take a look at enrollments, those schools are huge compared to Southeastern Conference schools. Their alumni base, as far as numbers, are just enormous.
It's nuts.
And they can. I'm not talking about who has the better billionaire. I have no idea. But they have there's enormous interest in all those schools, and once you're able to level the playing field with cash on hand, it's a game changer. Because before, all the money was distributed down in Tunica or through car lots in Tuscaloosa
or churches
or churches, this, that, and that. Now people don't have to. Indiana can do it. Texas Tech can do it. They can say, nobody would go down. I mean, I still don't know the coach's name at Texas Tech. Couldn't pick him out in a lineup.
Yep.
And he's no Mike Leach.
He's a high school coach.
Sean, Cliff Kingsbury.
Sean, the reason is he's a high school coach. They've shown you that this thing
and it doesn't mean he's a bad coach.
No, it's all about money. That's what it means.
It's all about money.
We're going to invest in our roster and not our coach. We're going to put our money in our roster. What a concept. You know who wins football games? Players. People told me when Jeremy Pruitt was hired here, his defense, and I was on the air going, how many of his defensive players are coming with him? Because he took our defensive players in next year, and it didn't look anything like Alabama's defense in next year. You know why? Because it's all about players. It's always been all about players. This is a player's sport. It's a player's game. I think it's interesting, too. You make a good point about the Big Ten. Tennessee went and got our answers this year are coming from the Big Ten. I want people to kind of think about, and look, I'm not glazing the Big Ten. I'm not a Big Ten I'm not Jay Glazer. Okay, I'm not. I think it's a fun, healthy rivalry between the two leagues. I think this is the old AFL and the NFL. We weren't alive for that, but I'm sure back then people argued, hey, which league is better and which league is better. And there were certain days where the AFL had a better team or two probably than the NFL. Some of those early Buffalo Bill teams were pretty damn good. Who knows? But it's a fun thing to kind of argue about. It's sort of given us a little bit of this regional flavor back in it, because now we can really hate on those guys. But I'm not going to cheer for our league. I don't care about our league. I have zero interest. I have interest in the Tennessee Volunteers. My job is not to glaze the Southeastern Conference. It's not. It's never going to be that. I've thought about doing an SEC-oriented show and sharing my flair and flavor with people, which I think would be great. But, because I don't think there's anything out there like it. But I'll tell you this. I wouldn't glaze the league. I wouldn't lie to people. I wouldn't say, hey, we're superior to the Big Ten. We're not. We're not. We're not. I mean, I hate to say that.
With the Big Ten now, sorry.
You're fine. Go ahead.
Excuse me. For people that don't know, we're not sitting in the same room. There's no way for me to know when he's going to take a break. I'm sorry. But do you think with the way the role that the Big Ten is on, it changes the dynamic for Notre Dame? Because right now, there was some talk, I don't know, a month or so ago about behind-the-scenes conferences talking about how they might freeze Notre Dame out. Now, they had a compelling reason. I'm not saying they deserved it.
Yep.
There were compelling reasons why they should have been in the playoffs, and they weren't.
I agree with that.
And Notre Dame, Miami got that spot, and Miami earned it, and they proved to be better, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But what is the Big Ten? Obviously, Notre Dame still has the cachet. They still have the history. They still are. When they come in there like the Yankees, you want to beat them. But that is, I know a lot of Catholics that love Notre Dame, and a lot of people like Notre Dame because of the history, and that's great.
Yep.
But their star seems to be shining a little bit. It seems like every time you turn around, they were getting the benefit of the doubt, and this past year, it just seems like that's turning a little bit. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, look, I think you're right. I think it was interesting that one of the immediate changes they made in the offseason, Sankey was promising a 16-team playoff, and Notre Dame went out and improved their standing. Sankey did not deliver. Notre Dame delivered. Because now Notre Dame, if they finish at a certain number, is automatically guaranteed a spot. If they're in the top 12, they're automatically guaranteed a spot. And Greg Sankey's 12-team playoff. And if you're keeping score at home, living listener, now I want you to think about this. That means that thank you, honey. That means that 2 spots are automatically covered before the year even begins. And if we're not going to win the SEC championship, really, and we have automatic qualifiers for the other Power 4 leagues, that means it's... Bri, let's do the math here. I haven't even considered this. If we stay at a 12-team playoff, Bri, and Notre Dame most years is going to finish in the top 12 because they're not going to play anybody. We basically have told Notre Dame, you don't have to join a league. You don't have to join a league. You don't have to play anybody, and you'll be in the top 12. They made that amendment because Sean's right. Notre Dame, when we were kids, Notre Dame was a cat's meow, dude. They were bad to the bone, man. Come on now. And now Notre Dame... they might as well be the New York Yankees. They're a bunch of damn relics. No offense, Bino. The Yankees have have done one thing in this century, and it was of course when they played the Sillies in the World Series. It was this, and it was Aroyd and some guy from Korea that went off. What was his name, Brian? Like Matsui or something? Who also was a pretty good running back at Penn State back in the day. Matsui. Hideki Matsui. A great Chicago Bear and a great Yankee in the 2009 playoffs. Anyway. So, Brian, let's count them up now. You got 4 conference champions, right? That's 4 spots. You got Notre Dame. That's 5 spots. You got the group of 5 winner. That's 6 spots. In a 12-team playoff, that leaves 6 spots. That's not a lot of wiggle room there. That looks like a 12-team playoff on its face, but that ain't a 12-team playoff. It is a top 10 playoff. I hate to agree with Vandy Daddy, a.k.a. V to the D. Brian, do you think we ought to go back to the phones? Sam Schrock said there's not a young person out there that respects Notre Dame football. Sean, why would they, Sean? Why would they?
Tennessee last won a national title 10 years since they've won one.
Oh, I mean, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Their last title was 10 years before that.
I mean, if you're
I don't know. Someone's calling me Nega Sean here, and maybe it is, but I don't think we would have beat Notre Dame this year.
No, hell no. We would have gotten they would have backed the truck over on us. That's not negative. That's real. That's called keeping it real. Hey,
we're on app only, right?
Listen, Sean, they power rated number 2 in America is what they power rated at the end of the year.
Yep.
I mean, they're very good.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, if we're on app, have you guys seen that? We talked a little bit in the first hour of our pre-production meeting, but have you seen that? I'm asking anybody that clip of Colorado doing their winter workouts, and basically they're all the players are running 110s, and they're trying to encourage Boo Carter to catch up.
No.
It's great. I'm not sophisticated enough to link it and send it to you, but there's a video clip out there called Come On Boo, and it's showing basically when you do 110s, the guys line up along the goal line or what have you, and then the coach hits the whistle, and then you run 110 yards, meaning through the other side of the end zone. And they're doing those drills, and they're encouraging Boo, and he is sucking wind like 20 yards behind everybody. Everyone's going, come on, Boo, you got to work, Boo, you got to work. Now, in fairness, I think he did say he had an injury, and he's probably not been training, but it was just very interesting at Colorado. And just go, if you can find that or someone can send that to Tony, it's worth watching.
How can he have an injury? He never played.
College football alerts. Deion Sanders plans to issue the fines for players for misconduct. Check this out. Now, do the math. Let's do some Boo Carter math here, then we'll go to the phones. Because I like stuff like this in the era we're living in.
Sure. Someone earlier, so before you get into that, someone asked if you're late to a meeting, do you have to give up a toe?
Are you ready for this? If you're late to practice, $500. If you no-show, $2,500. Late to practice, Boo Carter, put him down for about $4,000. Put him down for $2,000 there, pretty conservatively. So he'll do that a good 4 times. That's $2,000. If you no-show practice, $2,500. I would, if you're late for a team meeting, $400. If you no-show a meeting or a film session, like back in the summer, he would have been down like $50,000 already. If you're late to conditioning, $1,000. If you no-show conditioning, $1,500. If you're late to treatment, $1,000. If you no-show treatment, $1,500. If you violate team rules, $1,000 to $2,500. And if you have public or social misconduct, $2,000 to $5,000. Brian, do you agree with teams doing this with fining guys for conduct detrimental to the team or missing workouts and things like that?
I don't, since they all don't get paid the same and there's a pretty big discrepancy, I would say if I was one of the lower paid guys, I probably would make sure I didn't violate any of those, because I'll be having to take out a loan just to pay my fine.
To the phones we go. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, guys? Josh, your boy.
He is. You sound like Hoosier Ryan today. You not feeling good?
No, I'm good. I'm doing fine, guys.
Did you see Laura yesterday? Laura saw you.
No, I didn't see Laura. Where was she?
She was over there at the store.
Oh, I don't know. I don't recognize what she looks like.
Oh, really? She needs to come up and say, because she knows you. She said, I saw
she needs to say hi to me.
Well, she saw Joshy Boy. She said, I saw
Tony, I sent that video your way that Sean was talking about.
Oh, thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you,
Okay,
Joshy.
guys. Oh, what, Sean?
I said thank you.
No problem. So, guys, how do we feel about the game tonight against Georgia? Tony, Sean, and Brian, do you think the Vols are going to win up there in Athens?
Hey, Brian, break it down for us. What do you think?
They play better against teams that like to play fast and score a lot of points. And so I want to go in that theme. I'm going to say Vols find a way to get it done, although I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. But if Ament can keep showing up like he did Saturday, if there's a carryover, I like Mark Griffin, what he said yesterday. I think they will get it. I think they will get it done.
The most Tennessee sports thing ever would be for Blue Kane from Knoxville, who's 4 for his last 27, by the way, from beyond the arc. He is really struggling. Would be for him to come out and hit like 7 or 8 3 balls tonight and beat us. Brian,
They don't have much of an inside game either. But yeah, I could see Blue Kane hitting.
How Tennessee would that be? Him rains down like 4 or 5 of them. Yeah, gets a spurt going.
Although Athens has been kind of a hard place to win, but they did win the last time they were there. But they had to come from way behind with Dalton Connect. So if Georgia gets going early, it could get pretty impossible.
Hey, Josh, you ever been in that building?
No, I haven't.
Really weird building. Really old school. Has a weird feel to it.
Does it kind of remind you of Alabama's arena?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
We've played some really strange basketball games in that thing down through the years. I have a feeling tonight's going to be a weird one too. I have a feeling
we have a hard time winning up there.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Tony, who is Georgia's star player on that team?
If you go over to yesterday we talked.
Okay.
They've got a transfer that's an excellent player, and Mark Griffin breaks it down today. They, like Brian said, the thing they don't have is height across the board. They don't really have what I would quote-unquote call a star, but their best player is a transfer. Dominique Wilkins' son is very good. Tamika Catching's nephew has been a real nice player for them. And we talked about how Kane's been struggling shooting the basketball.
Right.
The thing about Georgia, though, is when they get it going, and they're going with this up-tempo style that Mike White played when he was at Louisiana Tech. They've changed course here.
Yeah, they do. And they lost the Damari kid to UConn, didn't they? That was at Georgia last year.
That's correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was pretty decent in the post, wasn't he, for Georgia last season?
Sure. Joshy boy, did you watch any ball last night? Did you watch any of the Michigan game?
No, Tony. I don't have Peacock. I used to have it, I guess, because I have Comcast and stuff like that. But it kind of bugged me that they did not put that game on FS1 or one of the big networks.
That's what we're doing now. They're forcing you to buy it, and it's another advantage that they have, that Peacock deal. That's a huge television deal they have. Sean, do you think the Southeastern Conference one day does that? Puts a bunch of their stuff behind a paywall like the Big Ten is doing? In terms of their own the SEC network's one thing. I'm talking about taking your signature football and basketball games and sticking them at times behind a paywall like they do over there at Peacock, Sean.
Man, I hope not. I don't like to search all around. I think I've got every subscription you ever invented, including some of your Chinese ones, Tony, but I hope not.
It's really hard to find things these days. It kind of pisses.
It is.
It pisses me off, Josh, that I have to.
It pisses me off too.
I have to get a subscription to one of these other sites.
And
to
I'll still
watch.
not. I still won't be able to see a Braves game this year, Joshy.
You can now. You can now.
It's like 4 years in a row I can't watch any games.
You can see the Braves now. You just buy the package. $99.
I've got ESPN
really?
Plus, Netflix, and that's it. No more. None more of that.
Where do you for us that live in a cave like me? Where do you do this, Tone? Where do you buy the Braves?
Just Google it. It's on the Major League Baseball app.
For me, I'm very fortunate because I have the Comcast Sports package. I get to see them on Fox Sports, the FanDuel thing. They carry it on the sports package I have. But
hey, Josh, how many of our pitchers are going to make it through a whole season this year?
Sean, I'm at the belief now. We've had our injury bug the past few years. I think this is going to be a positive year for us injury-wise. I think we're going to make it through a full season with maybe one pitcher gets injured. So I think we'll be pretty healthy this year.
Oh, I hear you. I hope so.
Yeah. Tony, you know what? Bear, you were speaking of Bear. He was pretty disrespectful to me the other day.
What'd he do?
Bear Italia?
Yeah. He cut me off on Russell W's show when I said it would be pretty funny if Ament posterizes Blue Cane. I guess he was sticking up for his Catholic boys.
Oh, let's go! Let's go!
I
like a little caller.
I like Robbie's a friend of mine too, and but I'm for that, Joshy boy.
Yeah, exactly. Gonna posterize him tonight. Nate, amen. And I'm gonna say, can I get an amen when he jams it over him? Brian, do we stay with the theme?
Bear likes his Catholic boys. So I'll give him that.
Everybody's got a blind spot, and that's his.
Yeah, everyone's got one.
And I love my boy Bear, but boy, that's a blind spot.
Yeah, that's all right. If he's listening, you know what I like? I'm glad you guys, because I enjoy. I'm watching your show. I watch your show every day on YouTube, and I watch Dubsy and Bear, and you know what? And I become a fan of Bob Baskerville.
Dude, he's a good man.
I think he does a nice job.
Dude,
I know. I talked to him several years ago after we dropped the Saturday show when he was filling out a roster on an outlet he had back then. And I only briefly talked to him, but that's. I hope he's listening. Bob, you've got a new fan. I like your input.
I love Bob. I knew when he was going to go do that with Dubsy, I knew that was going to go great guns, and it's been really successful. It's been really good. They're doing tremendous numbers, and but hey, Joshy boy calling out Bear here. I got time for that. Listen, if you have any issues with Russell Smith and you want to bring him to me and rip him, let's do it, man. I mean, let's go all in on some heat. But actually, I'm kidding. Joshy boy, if you have an issue with Bear, bring it up with Bear, man. Don't come on here and don't do that to me. And then you force me to say,
I don't know. I heard. I think he did bring it up yesterday. I heard it. I was playing ignorant, but Bear flushed him a second time.
I'm calling the shot right now, like real Mr. Tubbs. Mr. Tubbs, will you be there? What happened to them in basketball, Brian? We don't see them around basketball anymore.
I think they're going to more baseball games.
Hey, here's a question for you, Tone.
Yep.
Oh, excuse me. You had exclusive rights to Tony V. Since the change over there, do you think your access to the head baseball coach will change? Or do you think he will be? I know he'll be welcome over here, and we'd love to have him. But
Hey, Sean,
we know
Sean,
Tony V kind of did what he wanted to do.
Yeah, here's a memo. As somebody told me, those baseball coach needs me a lot more than I need him. Let's put it that way. But he hadn't appeared, and they've been very reticent to do that. And who the heck knows? I don't know. But here's one thing's for sure: the door's always open. I'm rooting. You know, I love my baseball program. Our sources.
I like him. I like Coach.
Oh, I'm for him. Our sources and our tentacles go deep, but we were rebuffed an interview request or two on the front end. But as we say in the chart, I just keep it real here. Baseball coach needs me a whole lot more than I need the baseball coach. That's the reality of that deal. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to say a great word about our friends at VIP Play. Look. Tonight is a wonderful, terrific, awesome, tremendous, make no mistake about it, full card tonight in your NBA, in your NHL. Our volunteers are in action tonight. Brian Hartman, what is the updated line, if there is one, with the Vols at?
I see VIP Play had it as almost a pick 'em.
Let's go. And, Brian, when you go to make your play tonight, what is the play?
Well, I don't want to jinx it, so I stay away from games involving the Vols, but I would probably say I would go the Vols minus whatever, 1 or +1, especially if it's +1.
Oh, no.
I think it's +1.
How could you not think the Vols are going to win tonight? I agree with Brian. Tempo game. Barnes is great against these teams. Tighty Whitey. Mikey Tighty Whitey. You can go claim your VIP Play welcome bonus right now. You bet $20 tonight. You get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code in your phrase that pays is TN Tony. Live always, 200-plus leagues, numerous bet types, props, options. You got it, they got it. If you have a bet in mind, our friends at the VIP will create it for you if it's a compliant event bet type in the state of Tennessee. And you're a VIP where everybody gets treated at VIP Play like a VIP. 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee to place a bet. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We go back to our phones. Hello, readies. So we get our next call in. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Doctor.
Hello?
Tony, what's up, brother?
What's up, Brad? How you doing?
What's up, Doc? Brian.
Hey.
Oh, man, we're hanging in, brother. Riding through a little ice, but
oh boy,
we never lost power in the upstate, so that was good.
Oh boy.
My thoughts go out to the Nashville people in West Tennessee.
Oh boy.
Tony, we're going to tear their kingdom down tonight. Pick 'em.
This Ament guy, I'll be curious to see if they play through him tonight. What that looks like. Because that's a smaller team you're playing. This would be a great opportunity for him to wheel and deal. Throw him out there and let him wheel and deal tonight.
Yeah, you're damn straight. Because hopefully that was his coming out party in Tuscaloosa.
Yep.
I mean, you see a guy like that, and the guys can't guard him. None of their guys can guard him.
No, those little guys tonight will have trouble with him.
He needs to back them down and just let the man eat.
Yep.
But talking about Tobe, Tony, I'm just curious, did they go to him? Did they go to Nate at all, you think, and said, hey, do you mind taking 3? We can drop another 1 for him. Do you think that conversation was had?
Waka left last year, Sammy. Waka, this is his second year at Arizona.
So he left the year Lanier came in. And we gave Lanier how much?
You're talking about Lanier. No, that was not going to happen. No, that would have never happened. Look, Toby Awaka came to Tennessee and said they're going to pay me $1 million, and Tennessee said, "Go in peace, love, and serve the Lord." I mean, there was nothing you can do about that.
Right. Well, it's water on the bridge, and I ain't. But we sit here and talk about these positions. We need another shooter. We need this, and it's like these guys that have somehow slipped through the cracks. Whatever. And I mean, that's fine. But y'all are hating on Boo Carter. I'm telling you right now, what was this video you were talking about, Doc, about him not running or something? It was on YouTube.
No, it's I want to be fair. Someone posted a picture of winter workouts. The guys were a group of guys, presumably DBs, were running 110s indoors in the facilities, with the team. And he was lagging way behind, out of shape, etc. And it was from a Colorado fan who said, getting vibes of, was it Kamani McLean back in 22 or 23? He wasn't impressed. That's all I was just bringing up. I don't have a commentary on him as a person or a player.
The guy's a clown.
I want to know if anybody's seen it.
Unserious football player.
So when he was gone, Tony, what was that for? He was out goofing around, and you know why he was not with the team? Do you know what was going on?
Yeah, he didn't feel like being
goofing off.
He didn't feel like being there.
Okay. Well, I mean, the jury's still out on that. We'll wait and see. I mean, I think he's going to play both ways out there, and he's going to be a first-round draft pick, but we'll wait and see.
First-round draft? I'll take the under on that, bruh.
I mean, when I watch ball, I see a dog out there.
Yeah.
And,
I
know he might have an attitude.
I see an unserious football player that doesn't know what he's doing.
Right. But, okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, Dog and Joey and all these picks, and several of them went right through our guys' hands because they couldn't catch a damn cold, i.e. Kitzelman. But anyway, Tony, going back to your boy Hoosier Vol Ryan. Now, I love Hoosier Vol. He's a fantastic caller.
Yep.
And I'd like to hear him call every damn day, and besides a lot of these clowns that call in. But it kind of goes back to when I would see my son in a competitive soccer tournament. I'm looking across the field, and this is a U13 game, and I'm like, does this kid have a permit? Did anybody look to see how old some of these Indiana players actually are that he had on that team? Because I swear some of them looked like they were 30.
Interesting.
Man, I can't I can't validate this, but I swear to you, I heard someone say that the average the age is like 24 or 25.
Yes.
Now, I don't know how that works out an average, because you got to have freshmen.
Yep.
Maybe they didn't have many, but I know I didn't make that stat up. Someone said like the average age was 25.
Few Mormon missionaries on the team.
24, 25.
Yep.
Yeah, some guys that were on sabbatical for 2-3 years.
Yeah. Like Betty Crocco, just showing up in your kitchen. And I mean, Amen took Betty Crocco, shoved his ass in that oven, and made himself a cake. He baked him a cake right in Betty Crocco's face the other night. Go!
And how in the hell they keep letting these morons down in Alabama get away with this shit? It's
amazing, Sammy.
It's mind-boggling.
But Cinco brought news today that this judge has recused himself finally. He's doing
kidding.
Doing the right thing, Spike Lee.
So the judge that initially said he could play has now recused himself?
Yeah, after they play us, of course. It's always about Tennessee. It's always Tennessee-centric.
Unbelievable.
Hey, Sammy.
Well, Tony, we're just lucky to have your show, the show record. And can I just say now that you've extended your platform can we just get this clown off of the SEC network to sell out? There's so many damn sellouts, Tony. Get this clown off the damn TV and put this bald-headed guy out there, brah. I mean, come on.
I would never do. I wouldn't last a day on there because I would tell the truth. The first thing I'd say if I had an SEC network show is, hey, we have a problem, and it's Commissioner Sankey because he lied to everybody, misled everybody, miscalculated on the world stage because the world was watching him get pantsed down to his skivvies. Go to the phones. 865-200-5402 if you want to get in the hunt and in the mix with us. Yeah, I agree with Basilio's robe over here on the YouTube chat. Basilio's robe. Let me see. What time is it? What are we doing here? What time is it? Okay.
It's like 20 to 2.
Yeah, I got 134 likes. I'm out of here. Sean,
See you tonight,
you.
Tom.
Love your show. SEAN Sinclair, DDS, beautiful Maryville. He's incredible. 134 likes. 38 minutes into an overtime. I'll see you tonight. Love you. We'll talk to you after the game. Peace. And G to the B to the O. Beyond with Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime after tonight's game. Listen, I need some love in the YouTube channel if you guys like long overtime segments. If not, I got to be a man of my word here, you know? And just not burn myself into Oblivion Newton-John for no love from the fam. The fam's got to show some love next time. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Or tonight, rather. Post-game. No love. No long overtime.
You found Radio Free Tennessee. Your Tony Basilio show will begin momentarily. Keep it locked in right here at TonyBasilio.com and on your Tony Basilio app. And hey, do us a favor. Spread the word. Another award-winning, thought-provoking, action-packed edition of the Tony Basilio Show is coming up next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com, home of the Tony Basilio Show. You found the Tony Basilio stream at TonyBasilio.com or on your smartphone or tablet. Another thrilling, chilling, and sometimes spilling edition of the Basilio Show is on the way next. Tips are always appreciated here at TonyBasilio.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
TB welcoming you in. Prayers up from my man George Plaster, who's was texting with him last night. He's lost his voice. And about 20 or so years ago, he went through a deal where he had polyps or something on his vocal cords. And it ended up being a deal where he it's wild, where he lost his ability to speak. And apparently, allegedly, I don't know, that's happened again to him. But here we are. We got the dogs tonight. Brian's fired up, folks, and prepared. Brian's got his game face on. He and I were talking before the show today. Brian, you're game facing, aren't you, today on this one? Game facing, Brian?
What you mean? I'm excited about tonight's game. Is that what you're talking about?
Game facing, yeah. You're game facing, man. You got your game face on.
Yeah, I want to see this team have some carryover from one good game to the next, though.
Yeah.
Before I really start to sort of get sucked back in, and I'm sort of just going to remain kind of humble and try not to get as emotionally stirred up, because they could easily lose tonight. Not saying they will, but I don't want to get let down again after what happened against Kentucky. I don't like those kind of emotional highs and lows. I just want to try to keep it in the middle for right now. It's healthier.
They opened as a dog to the dogs, so anything can happen. Obviously, when you open as a dog, anything can happen. All right, Sean Sinclair, let's get to the brass tacks here. Okay. Cinco, you're sitting here watching as an observer. What piques your interest? And by the way, Watson Brown joins next hour. We're going to hang out and talk here this hour. Wednesday with Watson. It's a movement sweeping the nation. John Adams will be here tomorrow.